the best of the week on Relevant Radio.
I've always loved my Relevant Radio app. You know, whenever I travel with Father Rocky, he's always like, go to your app and hit the prayer tab. And we would say a prayer if I wanted to listen to something again I missed, or, you know, we had the audio. We also had a lot of content on there to read. Well, over the past few months, Relevant has decided to do something really cool. And I've invited into the studio with me today, Preston Alex. He's the Chief Financial Officer here at Relevant Radio, to fill you in on something that we have been working on for you. And Preston, it's great to have you here.
The big announcement is this new app.
I love it.
It's a new design, and it's available now in the app stores, Apple and Google Play app stores. You can get the new design. It highlights all our great content, makes it so much easier to find it, discover it, just scroll through the different options that we have available for you to listen to. The player's significantly improved. We now have speed control. We have chapters. You know, all of a sudden you can say, hey, what guest was it on the other day for Patrick? We have that all in the show notes now. You just tap the guest name and it pops right to it in the player. And now people are obviously aware of our prayer menu that has all these great prayers in there. And some people, we did a focus group when we were looking at our old app and what we could do to improve it. And we found out like a few people were saying they didn't even know that we had prayers on the app because that top right button, they just thought that was like, it said pray to encourage them to pray, but that was actually a whole prayer menu. Well, now it's right on the bottom. Window. Now that's right there on the bottom, really easy to navigate to. I use the Relevant Radio app every single day with the prayer menu. I go right to devotions. I pray the St. Joseph prayer every single morning. To me, that gives me the right start to my day.
You know, super cool. I mean, one of the things I've always liked about Apple, right, was their design. And the key to Apple was the simplicity of how they presented stuff. I mean, super streamlined. Mm-hmm. This app is like that. Like, for example, I'm looking at it right now. If you go to relevantradio.com or, you know, go to your Apple store or go to Google Play.
Yeah,
okay,
go to
and
those
download it
stores
right now and check this stuff out with me. Well, I only have one complaint about the app, and I'll tell you that in a second.
Oh, right? No.
It's my headshot. It's so old. My hair's a lot lighter than that. It used to be black.
We can update that.
My hair used to be black.
Great. We just took pictures. Don't change it.
No, I'm kidding with you. I'm kidding.
All right. Well, that's the worst thing of the app. We did really good.
Patrick and I. No, as I'm saying, no. The thing to my point on simplicity, what I love about this, you have the home app, the Explorer, the menu, and pray. 4 little buttons on the bottom. I click on pray. Boom. Here comes devotions, litany of prayer, the confession helper.
We have a prayer reflection right on prayer every day on the saint of the day. So we right there are on Advent, whatever the day is, and you can get daily readings from the USCCB on that prayer menu. You can get our Christmas music just right there. So like we have the 6 hours of Christmas music. So if you need Christmas music and you're at home, you just want music on the background, you just go on to the banner right there and just hit Christmas in song. And boom, right there, we got 6 hours of Christmas music right there for you.
Also, you know, adoration. Maybe you're down and you're out somewhere and you just need to pray. You want to connect with the Lord. There's you can do live adoration. And it brings you right to the National Shrine of St. Maximilian Kolbe. So you're alone in your room or your office. Maybe you got bad news and you just want to connect to the Lord. You click on that and it will give you a live stream of our Lord truly present in the Blessed Sacrament. I just think it is so cool. And this is one of the more beautiful shrines. That Shrine of St. Maximilian Kolbe I've prayed in many, many times. You can find masses near me. Whenever I travel, and this is a really cool feature, you may not have noticed, there are some apps out there that help you locate where church is or where confession times is. Relevant Radio has that feature on this app, and that's one of my favorite features of it. What time's confession at this church? Hey, I'm in a different town, or is there a 4 o'clock mass or a 5 o'clock mass near me? You go to masses near me on the Relevant Radio app and click on it, and boom, there you go. So it's great stuff.
There's a confession helper. There's prayers after Mass. One of my favorite prayers after Mass is the St. Padre Pio Stay With Me, Lord prayer. It's on there. I use it every single time I go to Mass. And something else that I would say is people are starting to see the Best of the Week podcast that we create in their email boxes that only has 3 of those episodes. We are creating 2 to 3 episodes a day of our best of content. So you'll find on this app, it's a lot easier to access that and listen to it. We went on a road trip with my family recently, a 3-hour road trip, and we listened to the Best of the Week, just binged through 30 episodes of the Best of the Week because it was just such great content and just really,
So cool.
really uplifting, and a lot of different subject categories, lots of different hosts. So it never got boring. It was really interesting. So that's really a highlight, I think, to me here.
So Maggie, what's your favorite aspect of the mobile app? Do you use Relevance app a lot or not?
I do use it a lot. And I was able to test the beta version of this before we published it. And as I'm working on the podcast every day, I love the fact, because we would get so many complaints from people that were using the app that in the old version, you couldn't read the full description of the show, and you couldn't use chapter markers, really. It didn't, unless you used it on Spotify.
For those who don't know, you want to explain chapter marker real quick?
So like each segment of the show, if the topic changes, I put a marker in on the file and I'll name it, Drew and Preston talk about the app. Right. And,
There you go.
and then you can, if you open up the app and you click on the episode and you're like, I want to skip the news roundup, I just want to listen to Drew and Preston talk about the app, they can just click on that chapter marker and it will bring you right to this section of the conversation.
So glad that you
Yeah, it
did that.
makes
It's
it
really
easy to
helpful.
Find guests. If you couldn't remember, hey, what is that guest?
That's
Just
right.
pop right there, or topics.
Yeah, because you got a 3-hour show, and that's the thing. I had to grab the cursor and scroll to find now. Pop. You're right there. It's such a great feature. The other thing too, which is kind of not weird but kind of cool, Latin. There are Latin prayers here too. I know a lot of exorcists. They often say a lot of these prayers in Latin. You can check it out there. There's devotions. There's
And right on the
prayers after
Latin,
Mass.
you can actually, if you're like, you hit the translate button, you can see the English right along with the
so
Latin.
Cool.
That is so
You
cool.
guys thought of everything. And then the other thing too is the confession helper is always an aid. You say, oh, when am I going to confess again? It's you go through this, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm such a sinner. Right by the time I go through the checklist, it's so great. So you can check that out, or the daily readings, a lot of things. That's just under the devotional section. But again, I want you to go there now. If you don't have our
need to
app,
go.
it's Google Play, or go to your Apple store, go to the apps, and just type in Relevant Radio.
Yeah.
And one other thing, I had to uninstall mine. For example, Preston came in. I said, I've been trying to, I know that the new launch started at 1 o'clock. I don't have the app on my phone. I had to uninstall it from my phone. I use an Apple, iPhone, and then I just reinstalled it.
It might automatically update it overnight. For some people, you might have the button if you go to the App Store and just hit the word update. For me, I just had to go and click update in the Play Store. For me, either go and hit update, or it might just automatically work itself out. Or if you want to see it instantly and it's something you really want to see, which everybody should, because it's gonna change hearts and change minds and change lives. It's gonna bring people to Christ. Share it with everybody. We need you to, if you like this, give us 5 stars reviews. That helps people find the app. It helps promote it in the App Store. It helps, Christians and people looking for prayer, looking for podcasts about the faith. The more 5 stars reviews we get, the easier it is for them to find it.
The other thing I think is important, you think, how can I bring the faith to others, right? It's our mission, is Christ gave us this great commission. We're to make disciples of all nations. How do you bring Christ? Well, I don't know the faith. I don't know how to argue it. I don't know how to present it. You don't have to. You can easily say, hey, look, I want to turn you on to a great app. Listen to this programming. Here's a great confession app for you. Here's prayers for you at Mass. If you're in a tough time, you can stream the Divine Mercy Chaplet. I mean, send it through your social media platforms. If you have Facebook, if you have X, if you're on any other ways, if you want to send emails, tell them, here's the link. And let other people get it. Let's download this app, and we need. I'd like to see 10 million of these apps downloaded.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And to your point about sharing, right now, the podcast player now makes it super easy to share. It will just, you pull up a podcast, the share button's right there.
Really?
I've already used it like 20 times in the last week, because it's just so great to share with my family and friends. Now it's just, I didn't have to find anything. It's right there in the app. I hit share, and like your commentary earlier this week about Pope Francis and the news and everything. I shared that with my family, because I was like, hey, you need to hear about the real truth on this matter. So thank you.
Thank you, President. I should tell people the same thing, because when it comes to Divine Mercy, I often say the Lord promised special graces for those who spread the message, right? He promised special protection for those who would do that. Spread right now the message of Divine Mercy. Get people plugged into the app. Have them pray it wherever they are. Keep up your good work. I know there's more surprises coming.
There will be.
Our way. I can't wait to share some of those too. But keep up your good work, Preston. All right, Chaplet of Divine Mercy is straight ahead. We'll pray together right after this. Stay with me. Hey, like what you just heard? Then share it with your family and friends. And thanks for listening.